Hello! We're going to be farming some ice burrowers here. So I'm going to show you how we do that. It's basically going to be using a pet and holding aggro on it while we kite around. So let me just load up some spells here real quick. We're going to be using Glamour of Tuner. It does help to have an epic on this, but it's not totally necessary. It will just shave off a little bit of time from your kite, from the initial kite. I think I'm gonna want wolf form for this, at least initially. It's also not too bad on your mana, so you do need to be level 60, but otherwise your mana really doesn't matter. I should say your gear doesn't really matter. The only thing is probably your level, because it's gonna, you're gonna have to be able to land a snare to start off. Okay, and they drop silks, so they're great for a druid to farm. They drop about 2 silks an hour. Each silk sells for around 1,000 plat. Alright. So let's go ahead and get going here. We're going to go out and find ourselves a pet. I always keep gate on the bar just in case. Really the only things that are going to mess you up are if pet if pet takes aggro. So you're going to want to get a few flame licks on the mob before you send your pet in. And if your pet charm breaks midway through, that's actually a good thing. There we've got an ice burrower. I need to look for something to pet. Let's see if we can avoid aggroing any of these just yet, because I really need a pet first. Any of these will do. These are a little bit faster than the alternative, but I'm going to use them anyway. I'm going to start with the Glamour of Tuner here. I'm actually going to snare this guy, and then we're going to cast our pet spell. He's going to beat on me a little bit, but that's okay. Might have to cast it twice. It's fine. Okay, looks like it worked. Alright, now to find those ice worms again. And what I'll be doing is basically kiting along the western wall, just because it's a little less frequent that we get adds. Here I'm going to cast a snare. It'll probably get resisted 10-20 times. We might have somebody else out here doing the same thing. We will see. I'm basically going to keep trying to snare this guy until it lands. My charm broke. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. I want to get the ice burrower snared first. And it can take quite a long time. What I need to do is cast Glamour of Tuner on it first. So there we go. Hope my monk is factioned here. He's a little bit lower level, so I'll be typing to him what to do as well during this whole ordeal. Might take a little while for my pet to catch up. And you're just going to get a lot of resists. That's just how it goes. Got some other people running along here. Wonder if they're doing the same thing. Alright. This is a little bit excessive, probably because I'm recording. Except kind of how it goes. That's a few too many resists. And for all I know, I may have lost my pet somewhere along the way. Oh, yep, they've got a ice burrower corpse over there. If I lost my pet, I'll just grab one of these other guys. This is just ridiculous. Okay, now he's snared. So once he's snared, then I'll go ahead and do my epic snare. The epic is a lot easier to land. The only problem is that it's such a long cast time. That's really why I do the other snare first. So you don't have to have the epic. It is going to come in handy though. So you can see there was no resist on the epic snare. Super handy. And I'm just going to start casting Flame Lick. Here comes my pet. Sometimes I will sit between Flame Licks just in case I start to get a little low. And I've got to type to my monk here what he needs to do. I'm basically telling him to watch my pet. Monks can help with this, rogues can help for if they feel like helping for whatever reason. It's the monk chest that drops. So what I'm going to want to do is get at least 4 or 5 of these Flame Licks on here before I send my pet in. Again, the only thing that's going to get you killed is if your pet draws aggro, it's going to AoE dispel your pet, and then it's going to AoE dispel you, and it's probably going to take off your speed buff, and that's what's going to get you killed. Just met up a little bit. I haven't done this in a little while, so I'm a little bit less efficient right now. And there's probably always better ways to do things. So I'm going to go ahead and haste my pet here. Get him going. And I'm going to land one more. And go ahead and tell my pet to attack. Now I may tell my pet to back off here pretty soon, especially if all of the Flame Licks get resisted. Which very well could happen, so you may end up seeing some of what not to do. So that may have been a little bit early for me to send the pet in. We will see. We can actually, if we hope for a charm break, that will actually reset his aggro, and then the pet can basically just go crazy. So I want, if we don't get a charm break by 50% health on the Ice Burrower, then I will just back the pet off. And it's usually something like 15-20 minutes per kite. If you have a monk or something helping, sometimes you can shave off 2 or 3 minutes. And a lot of it's just that initial process, getting some snare resists. So my Wrath of Nature just broke, so I'm going to have to do my regular ensnare. Fortunately, I was talking instead of paying attention. So usually you want to refresh that beforehand. This is why it's a little bit easier to just have an epic, because I could have refreshed that without letting it wear off. And I don't know if he's factioned or not. I don't really have time to type to him either, so I'm just going to swing this around. And the head of the Ice Burrowers are not what attacks you. their hitboxes towards their tail. So if they get a little bit close to you, you don't have to worry that much. You definitely don't want to get hit because that's how you get the AoE dispel. And he's just going to resist a couple hundred times, that's fine. But again, we don't really have time to get the snare from the epic while he's running at full speed. So we've got to do the regular old ensnare first. And my charm wore off, that's just fine too. I'm going to be looking for the snare to wear off on my pet. So as you can see, not having the epic will take quite a bit longer, but it's not 100% necessary. There, he's snared. Okay. And he actually resisted my epic, so that's fun. It happens. I'm going to re-snare pet here. I'm going to get my charm in so we can start beating on him. And charm, good job. Alright, go attack him, pet. And get my Wrath of Nature recasted. I'm going to need to immediately start going back into Flame Licks. I'm going to type to my monk here, if you get high on aggro FD. I'm going to sit between each of those because I am starting to get a little bit low on mana. But I didn't start out with a lot of mana, so. Luckily, Flame Lick is a zero cost spell. If you've already sent your pet in and he's not hasted, you will have to pull him off because you won't be able to get the cast off in time before the Ice Burrower is on you. So you can't, you don't want to haste your pet while it's attacking. Nice and slow. The other thing you can do, you can Flame Lick and then immediately cast the epic or any clicky. So if you've got your, oh, I'm gonna need to do it again really fast here because it's probably about up. Any clicky will be like a cooldown reset so that there's no time between casts. So I can start casting that, immediately start casting my bracers, my Drones of Doom Dot, and then immediately after it, Flame Lick again. We are at 63% health. And this is basically it. There's only a few things that can really mess you up, but they can really mess you up if they go wrong. So hopefully you won't have to see that. I have, had to learn through experience. Even though my pet's not hasted, if the charm doesn't break soon, I may around 30% back my pet off anyway. And I am sitting between casts here, so you can see the mana is going up reasonably. I'm going to recast Epic every maybe third cycle. By cycle I mean I'm just standing here casting Flame Lick and sitting between casts. So here I'm going to sit, cast Flame Lick, sit again, cast Flame Lick, sit again. I can get 3 of these casts off. And take off. So not too difficult. I'm just going to redo Epic anyway. And part of the reason I do that is just if it does get resisted, then I have another cycle to work with. Like I'm not pushing it right to the edge. Which for these, I don't care to. There's plenty of mobs where I'll try to min-max, but for these guys, just kind of slow and steady is how it goes. So if you end up adding 4 minutes to your kite, oh well, at least you're alive. And to that end, you can cast dots on it. It's going to resist a lot though. So, you know, if I'm full mana, I'll toss Wings of Death on it a couple times. With the amount of hit points they have, it's kind of, I won't say it's totally useless, but in reality it's pretty useless. It might shave off a minute of kiting, so you know, if you've got the mana, go for it. I don't right now. I'm gonna let my mana regen because we're probably gonna want to kite a few of these, and since there's no real downtime, you can do them back to back. I feel like I should add some music or something. Fill up the background noise. So I haven't had a pet break in a little bit. I may back the pet off soon. If I were standing right here, that close to him, oh, we gotta avoid the Valium Hound. That guy may aggro me from all the way over here. Before doing this, I recommend clearing out any Valium Hounds in the area. They will aggro you from a really long distance, so they'll outrange your Harmony. So if you happen to see one before it's already attacking you, probably need to kill it first. And I need to refresh my snare. Kind of hard to judge distance on these two since their hitbox is in the back. Okay, it refreshed, no problem. So right around 25%, I'm going to back my pet off for a little bit, just so I can get a little extra aggro. Although I don't think my pet was hasted this time, was he? They'd probably worn off by then. I wasn't paying attention close enough. So yeah, I'm going to tell my pet to back off here. Maybe? Okay, good. He's chilling. And I'll go ahead and tell him to attack again. Of course, there's a weird like proximity issue. You have to be close enough to him, I guess. What you doing, you goofy pet? I said attack. There he goes. So yeah, you have to be like really close for some reason. I don't know. You'll figure it out. If your pet's not attacking, like, get closer. It's the moral of the story. I could have hasted my pet there. It's kind of a judgment call. I would feel more comfortable hasting the pet if it were to charm break right now. You can break it manually. Use a Goblin Gazoogie ring or just cast invisibility to animals. And that might not be a bad idea. I might start trying that because that will allow you to haste your pet, get it down to around 50%, break charm, and then haste your pet again. And it will probably actually minimize your downtime, or the kite time. So I may try that next time. Again, I'm watching out for Velium Hounds. I am factioned here, so I don't have to worry about other ads. So that's always nice. These will run when they're low health, but it's like, I think less than 5%, right? As long as they're snared, they'll just basically stand still. Toss my other clicky dot on him. But yeah, that's basically it. Not a whole lot to it. Glamour of Tunair is worn off, but I think that's on my pet. Sometimes I will go off and look for another Ice Burrower while my pet finishes it off. You do have to be factioned. This is not going to be fun if you don't have faction. Dude, look at this. Very first drop. We got him his skin. Cool. There we go. Yeah, we got some other people here doing the same thing. So, when I've done it in the past, I was really the only one doing it. It looks like more people are either learning how to do it or are leveling up or whatever. We're gonna go Grats Zerail. Alright, shoot me a message in game or on Discord if you have any questions, but it should be pretty straightforward. Alrighty, have a good one.